and welcome to the Don't Believe the Hype show. I'm Valerie Kelso. I'm the founder and CEO of the show. And today we have got another amazing guest. But before we go into our guest and her story, anybody out there would like to sponsor our show, like to be on our show, you are welcome to come on. There's no cost for you to come on to our show. All we want is someone who's got an amazing story to share with our audience, because at the end of the day, it's about encouraging each other to do something great in their lives, because you'd be surprised to know how many people feel that they cannot achieve greatness because of their age, because of the race. But we want to show you, no matter who you are, you don't need to believe the hype. You are powerful. So today our special guest is Miss Sandra Lee, Constable Sandra Lee. And I can get that name right because it's so easy to pronounce. So today's guest is Constable Sandra Lee, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself, and she's got such an amazing story, and I would like for her to tell you who she is.
Well, I am Constable Sandra Lee. I'm 60 years old. I've been constable for a year. I've been married for 39 years, have 3 kids and 2 grandkids. I was in education for over 25 years before I went into law enforcement. My passion has always been the community. I understand now, Valerie, why I took the path that I took. When I tell people that God has me where I am today, a lot of them look at me like I'm crazy, but I just know that He has me here. And so I need to make sure that I do what's right by the people and just work hard and, you know, keep my promises.
So what, I know you're saying God has got you here, but what made you decide that you wanted to be a constable at the age of 60, well, 59?
You know, when I worked for Mansfield ISD, I was a truancy officer. And I went out and spoke with a lot of parents and the students. And one thing that the parents would tell me is when things happen with law, they had no one in law enforcement that they felt they could go to. So I wanted to be that person that they could go to. And when I realized the qualifications for being a constable was you just had to have an associate's degree, I decided to run. And so
did you already have an associate degree?
I already had the associate's degree.
So you decided to run
I decided
to become a constable. I don't even know if I'd want to be going through anything, but at least you had that. So what you're saying is all you need to become a constable is an associate.
Right. Or you can have already be in law enforcement.
Yeah.
Be a licensed law enforcement. But I wasn't licensed, so I had my associates. Then after I got elected, I had to go to the police academy at 59.
That's what I was thinking, because you would have had to go through some other training to become a constable, you know what I mean? So you also had to go to the police academy. That must have been grueling, because I had several of my clients who come in here and said they wanted to get onto the police academy, and they were fit, they were young, there was everything, and they weren't even accepted.
Right. Well, I was smart enough to go to an academy that would accept me.
Okay.
And so it took me 6 months. I got in there and I worked hard and I graduated, and I'm now constable. It was a long 6 months.
Okay.
You know, because I had to get tased, and I had to get pepper sprayed, and all that took a toll on me at 59. So. And I think that's why my body is in the shape it is right now.
I'm telling you, because
the things I had to go through. But it's all worth it, you know what I'm saying?
So you watch a program on TV called The Rookie, where the guy was the oldest one, and he wanted to become a police officer or something?
Well, you know, even as a young kid, I wanted to become a police officer. But when I was 19, I got arrested for shoplifting. And so whenever I would go, even though, you know, my record was cleared, whenever I would go and apply for a job, that was the reason they would give me.
Oh, wow.
But we all knew that other people on that force had done a whole lot worse than that.
Yeah.
So that's why I say God had me here, because not only am I in law enforcement now, I'm actually leading a law enforcement agency without no experience.
You joking?
No. So
That is nobody but God, because you know God will put you in a position that you don't ever expect to be in.
Right.
You know, I mean, and I heard Jimmy's telling you that you'll be running for election in 2014. And
2024.
2024. And that's one of the things that, because I got my citizenship last year. I haven't voted yet. I haven't put that little X on no paper because I don't know who to vote for, because I'm not up on none of the political parties and things over here. So, but like you had to run for election, so somebody had to vote you in.
Right.
So what's the process if because I don't know much about none of the people over here and who to vote for, what process would I have to go through then if I wanted to say in 2024 I couldn't vote you in, or could I?
You couldn't vote for me because I'm not in your district.
Okay.
So what you would do would go with find Tarrant County, go to look up, put your information in, and then it will tell you everybody that's in your district, who's your state representative, who's your congressman or congresswoman, who's your city council, school board. It will tell you all that. And those are the ones that you could vote for. And then you would have to do the research on which one agrees with your philosophy about community. And then that should be who you support and vote for.
Okay. Because no one, like we was talking earlier on, I'd never seen a council person come in here. I don't even know. I know Stephanie Clixon. When I couldn't get my license, I went straight to her and I got it just like that, you know.
Right.
So I do know.
You have connections.
So I had Stephanie Clixon, but I didn't know who she was. But I went to a function, North Richland Hills function, and it so happened that we just connected because she does foster care. Because she was in she deals with the foster care system, and I told her who I was, and the next thing she sent a lady in here, and I got my license because I said that was just messing me around.
Right.
But other than that, I wouldn't have even known who to go to, and the only reason why I went to her was because somebody else was calling her name. And that's why I went, okay, somebody else is saying her name, I need to go and see who this woman is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and she did help me, I'm not going to tell you no lie. She was a big help in me in getting my license for this place. And then COVID came down.
Right.
About a week later, 2 weeks later. But like I said, I don't know much about voting. So explain some things, because I know you got voted in and you're not from this area.
Right. Like I said, right now we have elections going on with city council and school board. And we got 1.2 million voters in Tarrant County. And I think as of yesterday, early voting in it, and it was 64,000 had voted, which is 5% of the registered voters. And that says a lot about Tarrant County. It says, to me, it says that we don't really care. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Voting, especially in school board and city council, they decide our tax rate. School board decide a lot of things about our kids' education. So I don't understand why people don't see a need to vote in those elections. You know, in 2017, I got elected to city council in Kennedale, first African American. 6 months into that, I had a neighbor come knock on my door, and he said, I need for you to ask for an audit of the general fund. December 12th, I asked for that audit of the general fund. December 15th, I got paperwork saying that they were bringing me up, saying that I violated the city charter. And when I hadn't done a thing except ask for that audit. I got through that. 6 months later, I was up for recall because they were still trying to throw me off the council. I got through that. A month later, I became mayor pro tem. And this is why I say God has me here.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because those seats paid, some paid nothing. I was getting $1 a meeting. But everything...
You can't even go and buy a Big Mac.
the aspirins alone that I had to buy when I was going through that, because my head was hurting, and these people was like, but I wouldn't let them break me down. You know what I'm saying? We have to weigh, you know, okay, I'm not getting anything, but it's worth it for the citizens. They need somebody who's going to be in there fighting for them. So and I stood there and I fought for him. And I remember once I got elected, and a friend of mine was throwing me a party for constable, and this guy drives up in this big old truck with the big flags hanging off, right? And he jumps out the car and he says, "Who is Sandra Lee?" And we looking around like, oh man, it's gonna break off, right? And I'm like, okay, you just gotta let the constable, you can't be scared. And
remember that, didn't he?
Right. And so, and I said, "I'm Sandra," and he says, he was a Republican, he said, "Let me say something to you." He said, "I will always vote for you." He said,
Wow.
"Because you were the only one who answered my phone, returned my phone call, answered my emails whenever I contacted you." And that's what it's about. When we become elected officials, we cannot forget about why we're there. We're there for the citizens.
That's
You know?
right.
So you have to have that passion, that empathy for people, but you know, you just have to be there for the right reasons.
So do you see anything that you can do as a citizen to make this country run well? Your I can't say that.
Constituents?
Yes, constituent. In your area run a bit better than how it's running right now, or is it, do you think you've done enough?
Well, you know, as a new constable, I have been out on evictions with my deputies. And we went on one a couple of weeks ago, and this family, she had 5 kids, mom and 5 kids. They were getting ready to, well, they got evicted that day. And so what I did, I called one of the students' school to let them know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, the school took over, and they was able to get that family housing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
Right. So I think Precinct 7 has some great deputies. And we all have the same mindset. It's our job. If we got to put somebody out, we need to make sure they have someplace to go. I don't want to see any child on the street. You know what I'm saying? So I think by that alone, I think we are making an impact on the community by making sure that they're taken care of.
But not all deputies would have done that. They would have just put them out.
And went on to the next stop.
Where would that family have gone to?
Right.
A mother of 5 children.
Right.
Being put out. There's got to be some leniency somewhere, because COVID has taken a toll on a lot of families, a lot of marriages, and to put somebody, a mother with 5 children, to me that's crazy. That would never happen in England. You know, in England you cannot pay your rent. People don't pay the rent for a year, and they'll say to you, well, okay, we've got a court date for you. And then you'll stand in front of the judge and say, so how much can you afford to pay? And if you tell that man you can only pay $2, they've got to accept it.
Right.
And you can still live in that house.
Right. Wow.
Seriously.
It's not like that here.
I know it is, and that's why I see a lot of shocking things for me in this country when it comes to women and children. You know what I mean? You would not see a family sitting down Lancaster homeless with children. They won't do that to the mother and children in England.
Well, you know, a few months back, my chief came in, he said, look, we have to go, we had a writ of attachment where we had to go out and take a child from a mother. Mm-hmm. And so he says, I talked with Dad, and Dad believes that Mom has some mental issues going on. What are we going to do? What can we do? So I said, okay. So I called Jika Williams. I mean, Jika is going to be an amazing just another piece. She really is. You know, if you look at her, you'll be like, oh, just another pretty face. Smart as can be.
I hate her.
And so she went out to the home with us. Mm-hmm. And we had to take the baby. And so she was there for the mom. And she sat there and she prayed with Mom, and she held Mom, and you know what I'm saying? And we took that baby, but after that, I didn't have any concerns really about whether Mom would hurt herself after we left. That's how much Jika helped her to get through what we were going through at that time. You know what I'm saying? So we have to have candidates and elected officials that care. And that's why I get behind people and candidates like Jika Williams or like Ebony Turner, like Crystal. you know, and like Mark, because we have to have people
who care about
who
the
care about
community, because a
right.
mother who's just had a baby, people don't realise that mother doesn't know anything.
Right.
And that mother was probably just going through postnatal depression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you'd be surprised to know how many women are going through postnatal depression. Here's your baby, take care of that baby and do what you have to do. When I was back in England, I would take people's children and I would keep that child rather than let the state get involved. And when that mother was ready and felt good enough, she could come back and take a child at any time.
Right.
And I used to do a lot of that. I used to have people thinking back in England I've got about 12 kids. I've only got one, but I always had somebody else's child with me, just because, you know, I mean, I might one day run for city election. I might turn around and implement some of the policies from England, because over here I see so many wrongs being done and the simple fix. But no, I don't want the simple fix. Everything has got to be blown out and fancied, and you know what I'm saying, just like the food, everything's got to be big and overdone, and sometimes simple is best. Right. So, you know what I mean, so tell me about the decisions you have made in doing what you do.
I remember when I was on the city council, we were bringing some affordable housing into Kennedale. Mm-hmm. And certain people did not want that housing. And so some of my supporters told me, they said, Sandra, if you vote for that housing, we'll never vote for you again. And I told them, I said, well, you're just going to have to never vote for me again because I'm voting for that housing. And I try to get people to understand, the main people who need that housing are the ones who come into our schools and they're cleaning our schools. And they're fixing breakfast and lunch for our kids. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Those are the ones who need, everybody wants their kid in good schools. They want their nice places to live. They deserve affordable housing. You know, it's amazing that we have people living in $350,000 to $400,000 homes, and they don't think about anything about how it's going to affect them. Well, it's going to bring down my house value. Well, it's going to bring down my house value too.
That's right.
But I would rather for my house value to come down and somebody have a decent place to live than to be on the street. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I understand what you're saying, because, you know, when I first came over here, and I drove on the bus down past Lancaster, and I burst out crying because I did not know there was so much homeless people on the street, and not all of them are there because they want to be there. It was circumstances. They might have had a hospital bill, they might have had something and they couldn't afford to, you know what I'm saying, because it's so quick over here to just evict them and put somebody else in. But you're forever evicting, it's like a roller coaster, it's like a boomerang. And some of the women, even when I went to Lancaster at Christmas, people are escaping domestic violence, they're escaping some form of trauma, and yet one lady had a broken arm. She's down on Lancaster and still have a broken arm because I just couldn't understand. So you saying about, yes, some of the rich people don't want the housing to come, price to go down. It's not your house anyway. It's not your house.
Right.
And it will never be your house, because as long as you've got to pay some form of tax,
right,
it's never going to be yours.
And that's where voting comes in, because the city council decides the property rate. So that's why come Saturday, you need to get out and vote. And so what I will do is I will pull your information, I will pull your sample ballot, we will go over it, and you'll know who to vote for. How's that?
Well, I live in North Richmond. I live in North Richmond. You can do that, because I've never voted over here, because remember, I'm from England, so I didn't get my citizenship till last year, March, and the big election was already over. So I've never really had to vote.
But you know what? This is the big election. What goes on nationally doesn't really affect us like what goes on locally. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to vote for the president. President ain't thinking about you, ain't thinking about
me. He doesn't even know my name.
Right. So it's the local elections that really mean everything to us, and that's what people need to get in their heads. You know, they only want to vote when the president or the governor race comes up. These municipal elections are very, very important.
So when you say I didn't know that, you know what I mean, I'm thinking, so what are we voting for now? Because, you know, if you don't know something, you don't know who to vote for. And I'm going to be honest with you, right? I see all the billboards on the road and vote for this person, vote for that person, but that person needs to you know what I mean? Oh, that person needs to, how can I put it? Have something that you know what they're doing for the community. You know what I mean? Apart from a 30-second advert on TV, you don't know.
But that's where the research come in. You know what I'm saying? That's where you go and you look at their websites and the Facebook pages and talk to neighbors or whatever you have to do to figure out what type of person they are and what are their views on the issues. And if those same views are your same views. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we look at signs and we look at commercials, and you really can't tell anything by them because people usually tell you what they think you want to hear anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you have to get to know the candidate. But first you have to get to know the issues to know if that candidate and you're on the same page with the issues.
And that was another thing, and I'll keep going back to England because it's so different. Everything over here is so different and new and fresh for me. In England, the guy would come and knock on your door. You would see somebody come by and say, these are the issues that's going on. This is why I'm knocking your door to see what issues I can help you with. You know what I'm saying? But over here, you don't see any of that. You just see the billboards in the garden or on the road. And
well, when I ran, I was door knocking, and it's hard to reach every door because I have I think I have almost now over 400,000 residents in my precinct. So it's hard to hit every door, but I hit as many doors as possible because I didn't have the money to send out mailers. You get mailers in the mail about candidates?
No.
Okay, a lot of candidates were sending you out mailers. I didn't have the money to send out mailers, so I had to go out and try to reach the people as much as possible. But I think the work that I did with Mansfield ISD as a truancy officer for 12 years helped me get to where I am also, because a lot of the parents and students, even the students who are now grown, remember from when they was in school you had to deal with. So.
And it's good that you go out and knock on the door, because when you knock on the door, that becomes personal.
Right.
They see your face, but you know, you can get a mail and you're just, it's 10,000 letters, bills are coming in, and you just put it down and it doesn't mean nothing.
Right.
You're going to pick up a mailer from you over looking at, okay, my electric bill is, my gas, but you understand what I'm saying? Because sometimes you see all these mailers come through, you don't even want to pick it up and look at it. So knocking on somebody's door and telling them, we used to have the big, people used to have the mouth thing, and they used to go around all the streets driving the car. Don't forget to come out to vote. Yeah, don't have to do that over here. That's what you would see the candidate. Don't forget to come out and vote, even at 9 o'clock at night. So we're knocking on your door.
Right.
Have you voted yet?
Yeah.
This was in England, but like I said, I don't see
over here, huh?
It's totally different.
Yeah.
A lot of things are different, and I'm still learning the American way. You know what I mean? So you're going to really pull up my paperwork so I can
pull it up for you, yeah. And we'll see. We'll pull up your sample ballot, and we can see who's on the ballot, and we can do a little research to see who you need to vote for. And Saturday, the polls open. You can vote anywhere in Tarrant County. Polls open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So you can.
I can do the 5:55 because I'll probably be in my bed at 7 o'clock in the morning. You ain't getting me up at 7 o'clock unless I need the restroom.
Right.
I don't want to see 7 o'clock in the morning, because usually I'm so tired, but at 7 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean?
That's why they give you 12 hours. Yeah.
So what type of people do you say would make a good leader?
Somebody who has empathy, somebody who has integrity, someone who listens, you know, somebody who cares. It's just the simple things to me that makes a good leader, you know. it's all right to be smart, but sometimes you can be too smart. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just somebody who will sit and take the time to sit down and listen to your concerns, or meet you halfway, whatever your concerns are.
Sounds like a marriage.
It kind of is. You know what? I get more. You'll be amazed that I get more phone calls from my voters, and I be on the phone with someone for hours, and they don't want anything more than me to just listen to what they're going through. So I just sit there and do, because you have to show them that you're concerned.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, Jekka Williams, or Jisa Williams, wants to thank you so much for you, Constable, and she said her heart is heavy with gratitude. Just wants to thank you. She says she needs a megaphone so she can get out in the street and help people learn how to vote.
You know, to the Robin up with it no one, because I ain't got time. I'm so busy myself. This is my time I allocate just to do this show.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you said you're married.
Mm-hmm.
Just what support did you get from your better half?
Oh, well, he paid for my campaign. So, at the time when I was a truancy officer, I was making like $33,000 a year, which was nothing. And it takes some money to run a campaign. So he paid, his job paid for my campaign. He went out knocking doors with me, dropping doors. And so did my kids. They have always been very supportive of the things that I'm doing, because 20 years ago, I was a hell raiser when they was in school. So
You think I don't?
so they happy to see me calm down. So they really support me.
That is so nice. You made me want to cry to know that your husband actually went and paid for you to do your campaign, because it's hard to get a husband and wife that's on board,
Right.
who are walking the same path. But like you said, you've been married for over what, 30 years?
39 years.
39 years. That's she could have gone to prison and come out. That is a long time, and that's a lot of love and a lot of commitment, and that's how the Bible wants husband and wives to be. Like what you've got, that support. You are his helpmeet, and he was your helpmeet to help you to get to where you needed to be.
Don't get me wrong, baby. Sometimes I want to thump him upside the head, but all in all, he's.
You know what? That's how we are. Because but you know what? At least he stood beside you, even when you wanted to thump him up the head. Right. He stood beside you, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure because I've seen you on Facebook saying that you've had to study, you still had to go back and study, and I can't even concentrate long enough to even do anything. That's why I'm so glad when I'm doing a massage. That's the longest I can concentrate while I'm massaging. But other than that, when it comes to writing,
you know what's really strange? When I was in the academy, I had the highest grade point average in that class until we took the final exam. 3 days before the final exam, I buried my dad. And so then I had to come back and take the final exam. And I ended up losing that by 0.25 something %. And so when the director was telling us, so-and-so got it, and she would start saying what he had to do at graduation, I was so happy, because I'm like, I ain't got time to do all that cooking. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoyed the police academy because I was 59. I think the next person might have been 30. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was just, it wasn't a job, it was an adventure. I'll put it like that.
you didn't have to climb the ropes and all that, did you?
No, we had to run a lot. We had to run. Well, in my case, I had to walk fast a lot. So, but you know what? God got me through it, and He got me through the academy. He got me through the test. I passed the exam on my first try, the state exam on my first try, and I remember walking into the courthouse. Elections was going on, and one of the judges who had been there before, he says, Sandra, how's the academy going? I said, well, I'm finished. So he's like, oh. He said, so when do you take the final exam? I said, no, I'm finished. Oh, but when do you take the test? I said, I'm finished. I'm the constable, is what I said to him. And then I turned around. He couldn't see the smile on my face because I was laughing. But they just knew I didn't have it in me to get through that academy. You know what I'm saying?
They didn't know you had it all, they knew you did.
Yeah.
They knew you did?
They knew that. They didn't think I did.
Okay.
A lot of them was betting that I was going to fail that. I wasn't going to make it through. But I would have never ran for constable if I didn't think I couldn't get through that academy. You know what I'm saying?
Because you have to believe in yourself,
Right.
and you can do anything that you want, you know what I'm saying, at any time you want to do it.
Right, and like I say, I knew that God had me there, so why would He let me fail, right?
And it's funny because you're 59,
60.
60 now, but at 59, 65, 6 years you'll be getting your pension. You had a good job. Why would you want to put your body through all that, even though all you had to do was just finish out your time at school as
Right.
a truancy officer? But you didn't want to do that. You wanted to go to that next level.
Right. Well, you know what, I think with all the, and we also got to remember at the time, last couple of years, we had all those killings between the citizens and law enforcement. And so, the only way we are going to change the mindset is that we are leading those law enforcement agents. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
As long as you have people who don't see anything wrong with shooting blacks and Hispanics, things will never change. So you have to get the right people in the right spots for change. And so I figured if I can get there, we can start changing some things.
So what would you tell a young black person or a Hispanic or even white, because you know it is about the colour of your skin, but what would you tell them that want to change, who don't know where they're going, want to go into the police force, but they think it's so full of racism and whatever? What would you tell them today? Would you advise them to go into the police, or would you just turn around and say, you know what?
Well, the Academy has invited me to speak twice to their classes, and I tell them all, you are in the right spot. We need more minorities out in the community. We need to start going back policing the communities where we grew up, and I think that would end a lot of crime, a lot of confusion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I tell them that, you know, keep doing what they're doing, and call me when they graduate. Maybe I'll have a spot for them. We have to realize that we are the change.
Because you know, most black people and probably Hispanics would think like being a police, you're a snitch, you're a pig, you're blah blah blah.
A sellout.
You know what I'm saying? And black people shouldn't join the police force.
Right.
Because that's not us. But they're not looking at it. It is us.
It is us.
We are the change.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't our foreparents, their change was in their days. We have got to make a change in our days.
And you know what? And again, it all comes back to the mindset, because I tell the students in the academy, if you don't do anything else right now while you're in the academy, pay attention to what's going on in your city. Because when you join these police departments, those city council members are going to be making decisions about that police department, whether how much you get paid, health care, whatever it is. So start paying attention, and when you get a chance to run for office, run for office. You know, the biggest change we can make is becoming an elected official. But again, we have to get the right elected officials in office. What was it, 2020, we celebrated 100 years of the 19th Amendment of women being able to vote. But it was white women. Black women still couldn't vote. You know what I'm saying? So, and then also, it was the 55th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act, and everybody finally got a chance to vote, and we're still not voting. A lot of people fought and died for us to vote, and we're still not voting. I mean, it takes 5 minutes.
Is that all it takes?
Yes, that's all it takes. That's it. Well, people say I don't have time to vote. Yes, you do.
So there's no big lines outside where
Right.
people are lining up to vote. There's none of that.
Now, on election day, it's lines be around the building.
Do they offer ice cream and?
And they even but see, they passed a law now you can't even offer water. That's why you need to vote, because these people are doing everything possible to keep us from voting.
Wow, not even pass that water. You
They're
say
not
you
even
think I'm
pass
gonna
that
stand
water,
out there
you
like,
right.
water,
Yeah.
water.
So that's why it's so important to vote. They don't want to do anything to help anybody. They want to keep control, and not because they want to do what's best for us. They want to keep control for power. They go into these positions because these positions make money for them. It was one guy in Kennedy that made like $100,000 off of some roundabouts being a consultant. And I hate to say this because all city councilmen or city councilwomen are not like this, but some of them just going to see how much money they can make for themselves.
Wow,
You know, that's why we got to make sure we get out and vote the right people in the office.
So, Miss Sandra, I'm going to ask you one last question because we're getting ready to wrap up our show. What does "Don't Believe the Hype" mean to you?
Don't believe the hype means to me.
Yes.
Well, you know what? I've always been accused of being a loud-mouthed black woman. That was the way that certain people in Kennedale saw me. She's mean, you know, she's rude, she's disrespectful. But, you know, don't believe it. I think I'm one of the sweetest people I know. You know what I'm saying? And that don't believe the hype can go across the board for a lot of people. You know, I tell people all the time, I got a friend who's really good friends with an elected official. That elected official comes in the church and tells those black people what they want to hear. And then she go right downtown and do everything she can to keep us down.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So we need to stop believing the hype about a whole lot of things. But when you hype stuff up, we need to hype up voting. You know what I'm saying? Believe the hype about voting. Voting is very important. Our kids, our senior citizens, are all affected by, you know, how we vote and who we vote in office. So hopefully, Valerie, come Saturday, we will see you in somebody's line. I'm going to see you.
You'll see me in the barbecue line. That's where you'll see me in the barbecue line. I'm going to be honest with you. If I can do it online, I will do it online.
You can't do it online. You have to do it personally.
But I'm not going to stand up in no line.
No, you know what? Like I said, only 5% have voted so far. You will not have a line come Saturday to vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will put my X somewhere. I'll find my vote.
There you go. There you go.
But I think I might need to change it's at my old address. So I might need to.
Yeah, they're gonna ask you, is this still your address, and just tell them no, and hopefully they'll go ahead and let you vote. Let you vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am going to vote. I don't know who I'm going to vote for, but I'm going to vote for the person that supports me, and that's my legs. I'm only joking. I'm only joking. Listen, people, I'm a joker, right? That's who I am. I like to laugh, I like to smile, because to me, if you make somebody else smile, that means that you're doing your job, because that means you've taken away that stress, even if it's just for 10 minutes, 2 minutes, you're just making people not worry about the bigger issue of life, because life is full of issues. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that you came onto our show today.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You know what I mean? And I'm going to get Miss Jika Williams on our show.
Right.
I know her name's Jika. I've been watching some of the things that she's been doing through your page.
You've been watching her on TikTok? She's been TikToking it.
No, I don't, because I don't do TikTok like that. You know, you can watch one thing on TikTok, and then by the time you've turned around, you're on TikTok for like an hour and a half. So I try to stay off TikTok as much as I can, because I haven't got that time. I need some sleep time.
Well, I will tell you, when having Jika on your show it will show the people what kind of elected officials we need. I just think she's an amazing candidate and an amazing person. So
yeah, I'm going to get her on my show. And any other people who would like to come on my show, I'm Valerie Kelso, the Don't Believe the Hype show. You can come on, we can sit down, we can chit chat. Hopefully next time I'll have some, not water, I'll have something a little bit stronger. It'll be flavoured water. But come on to our show, have a laugh and show people who you are. Make somebody proud of you for all the things that you're doing in the community. You know what I mean? Let your light shine, and that's what this show is about, letting your little light shine. Thank you and welcome to the Don't Believe the Hype show, and I will see you back in a few weeks' time. Have a wonderful and blessed evening.